Girls like you, guys like me, so now I'm gon' do. I need a girl like you, yeah. Girls like you, got me too, and I'm gon' do. I need a girl like you, yeah.
Where are you going with this?
Yeah.
Why have
Yeah.
Why have we started with this?
I need a girl like you, yeah. Happy Maroon 5 Day to you all.
Oh, was that them?
This Could End Terribly with your boys, Johnny V.
Hello.
And A to the B.I. I'ma need a song not show you.
Oh yeah, that's bang.
Take me to the phone and I know you got that moves like Jagger.
Yeah.
You got that moves like Jagger.
Nah.
You got that moves.
We need some classics.
Like
I actually knew every single word to one of the Maroon 5.
Yes.
I knew every single word.
On me, she said goodbye too many
I think
times before.
I think I'll go as far as saying that's the first album I ever bought with my own money.
Oh yeah,
that's how white I am.
You are quite amazing.
This is heritage, as Jose said.
This is definitely quite heritage. Without further ado,
This
terribly episode 50.
That's wrong in every language.
I know. Fuck it. It's 50.
50.
I don't give a shit. I made it up.
50.
I made it up, but people still
50.
felt it. They felt it.
50.
They felt it.
They did, I guess.
They felt it.
I hope people didn't think we were going to start the episode without doing the thing.
I mean,
We came out of left field.
It's the stamp.
I hope people weren't like, oh my days.
Keep people guessing.
Never let them know.
We are jumping right in because we are in with the shits tonight.
Yes, we are.
This Maroon Friday.
Yes.
Shout out our SoundCloud listeners.
Yes.
Our YouTube listeners.
You nasty people.
Our Apple Podcast listeners.
Yes.
Our silent Amazon Music listeners.
Yes.
And of course, our Spotify listeners.
Yes.
Followers, subscribers, sharers, supporters. This Could End Terribly is 50 episodes deep,
Yeah, we are. Yeah, we are. Clicks to us. We made it, baby. We made it. It's
Fucking hell, man.
It's a big age.
It's crazy.
It's a big age.
50 episodes.
Golden years in that.
50 episodes and nearly like 2 years deep of recording every other week.
That's a young jubilee, isn't it? It's the golden jubilee, the 50.
It's crazy.
It's been a journey.
How do you reflect?
How do I reflect? I mean, in one sense, it's quite sad that the world keeps throwing up enough fuckeries for us to keep producing episodes.
For real.
Fortnight after fortnight. But
Thank you, world.
Thank you, world. Yeah. But I don't know. I'm proud of us. I'm proud of you. I'm proud of you for putting the whole thing together.
I'm proud of you. I'm proud of us.
Proud of us for keeping it going. We've had our moments. We've had our ups. We've had our downs. We've had our roundabouts.
Oh, man. This Could End Terribly wouldn't be This Could End Terribly without moments.
Yes. Arguably, the name that we gave the podcast kind of foretold its story of production.
Yeah. I'm a genius on many levels, Johnny.
How do you feel about reaching the same podcast age as your own years?
Wow. But not too far off the truth. I feel very happy. I feel very proud. Yeah, look, it's difficult. This shit is difficult. I don't know. I don't know what it sounds like because we make it, so it's hard to listen to it from a listener's point of view. But like, it may sound easy, but this shit is difficult. Mm-hmm. Obviously, we have a lot of stimulus to keep us going, but even on the weeks where we don't, and we have to kind of just like run with it, we manage to do so. Podcasting is unrewarding in many respects, right? Because you put something out and you don't really know who it affects. You know people are listening to it all around the world, but you don't really know how it's affecting people until you know. And a lot of people have been very, very nice throughout. So I want to shout out those people who have been telling us in all the ways in which This Could End Terribly have gotten them through the pandemic. They've got them through some really dark times. I've been told that we've got them through depression. People are coming up to me and say they listen to this in long journeys with their other halves and they laugh in car journeys and shit. Like, It's been an amazing journey, if you want to call it that. And I'm really, really proud. It's tough though. Do you know what I mean? Like on days like today where I've been a bit sick all week and I'm a bit low on energy, and I know Johnny's coming round on a Friday night, I'm like, shit, I got to perk up, man. I banged out my little 7.5 minute plank before you came just to get the juices flowing.
You had to let people know that you're up to 7.5 minutes now.
7 minutes 35 seconds actually. Ooh. But whatever. Who's counting? I am.
You are. We all have to know about it.
So yeah, it's difficult in many respects. But there's something very, very nice about just like chilling out with your boys and just having a drink and chatting shit.
Talking some shit.
If I may flex.
Please.
This podcast has been a constant reminder of just how well-rounded a human I am. Can you look at my interests? Me, I can talk about anything.
Often too much.
Often too much.
Too much.
There's never a boring moment. And I gotta say the same about you as well. I mean, sometimes, probably too many times, you rock up to this place not knowing what the fuck I'm about to talk about.
Yeah.
But you freestyle your way through it.
Yeah.
And your acting skills are convincing.
Thank you very much. I appreciate that.
I commend you for.
Thank you very much.
So again, this isn't just about us. This is about all the people who have been supporting the thing.
It's about you. It's about you backing it. There's no podcast without you lot.
Yeah.
So thank you.
We have done all of this with absolutely no big team, with absolutely no big support in the background. We've literally just been word of mouth, grassroots type thing. And we're forever thankful for everything that you have given us back.
Amen.
By way of feedback and by way of support.
How have you been, Rich?
Yeah, man, it's been a shit week, man. I'm knackered.
Talk about it.
I'm only drinking this whiskey neat right now because I just wanted to do some things to my throat. You know what I mean?
Pause.
You are problematic.
Is that Azeri or is that what's the provenance?
This is a Scotch.
Oh, it is
whiskey.
Cracked out the good stuff.
Shout out Vitaly, you got this for me. My last birthday, just cracked it open. Speaking of birthdays,
yes.
When you're listening to this, I would have done one more rotation around the sun, baby.
Yes.
Yeah.
How many is that now?
37.
Oof.
Man, I look sexy though.
It's a lot.
I know. I went to get a sausage and egg sandwich this morning from my local. Yep. Shout out the Mighty Biting Bow. And this white woman from behind the till asked me what I wanted, and I said sausage and egg, bacon, red sauce, toasted. She said, I'm assuming you want like the really thick toast. Yeah, you look a bit, you hungry? And I was like, yeah, I'm very hungry. And then she was like, yeah, to be honest, you kind of remind me of my son. And if you're anything like him, he wants the large loaves and slices of bread. And I was like, well, how old's your son? She said he's 25. And I was like,
don't break yourself. This never happened. And what then? Did everyone in the shop stand up and applause? Like,
she was like, oh, fuck off. She actually swore. Like, oh, fuck off. You're 37. And then she goes, and this made me laugh. Like, I really cried at this. She was like, I guess that's what they mean when they say black don't crack. And I was like, yo. Yes. But she said it in a way where it's like, look, I know you got black friends, so I'm going to let you get away with that. There was nothing National Front about it.
It wasn't the BNP compliment.
Yeah, no. I felt like she had gang in the gang in it. Like. So I let her get away with that. And then this Turkish lady who owns the place came out and she was saying similar things. So fuck you very much, Johnny.
Yeah, all right, you got one compliment in your multiple decades on this planet.
Come on, bro.
You've not been invited on Rich Kids, Poor Kids, have you?
True, but I'm also not a Tory, so I don't expect to be.
Wow.
Like you. Just to be clear,
I'm gonna let you have that one
point didn't hit home
for your birthday.
Yeah. So happy birthday, me bitches.
Mashallah.
How are you?
I'm all right, you know. I'm all right.
I don't even really want to ask you this because I know where this is going to go.
Yeah, no, I've obviously, as part of my sanctification, purification of the soul.
Here we go.
Rich owes me £100.
I do,
ladies and gentlemen.
I do. I'll give it to you.
Thank you very much.
I'll give it to you.
Well, you say that Rich, at the time of recording, is the only person who hasn't paid. And upon being presented with evidence of the challenge completed,
I needed that.
First, doubted its veracity.
Man showed me like a video.
I showed you multiple videos of you on the scales.
Some white boy's feet on some scales.
The video then turned around.
Anybody's toes.
Showed my face on the scales.
Eventually, but I didn't see a picture of your head and the feet on the scales at the same time.
Of the video. So having got through the doubts of veracity, then said, I ain't paying shit till everyone else pays.
Can Because I got a nice legit, right?
What do you mean?
I don't want to be the only mug who isn't seeing the actual evidence, right?
Right. Well, now you're the only mug who hasn't paid.
And you'll get your monies now.
So pay up. So that is 6.5 kilos down in 3 weeks. Thanks very much.
What did you learn about yourself,
honestly,
Mr. Zen?
It's been transformative, you know. Like I'm not enticed.
Transformative.
It has, man. It has, and it's proper moist to say it. I'm aware it's moist. But like, I don't really miss the booze at all. And like everyone who knows me knows that's quite a marked step change. Not being on the booze has done a lot of things beyond like feeling healthier. Like my brain is working at some kind of like dangerously ADHD level capacity. Boshed through like mad books in the last 3 weeks. I discovered there's a whole nother Napoleon. Did you know this?
Oh God, no.
There's a whole other Napoleon. There's a bloke called Napoleon III. Check this. Who was Napoleon's nephew, right? But it's super fucked up because, as listeners may remember, when I had my last Napoleon, the first Geek Out, Napoleon married a Badders. And Napoleon, when he married the Badders, already had a daughter, right? So Napoleon made his stepdaughter marry his nephew. Kind of fucked, which means that Napoleon's nephew is also his step-grandson. Or rather, Louis Napoleon, who became Napoleon III, his uncle was also his step-granddaddy. Very sus. Very weird. Anyway,
white people being crazy, bro.
They're done being crazy, especially the French. Anyway, this Napoleon like did the exact same thing as the first Napoleon. Became like dictator of France, reconstituted the empire, tried to beef bear man, ended up in the Franco-Prussian War and got fucked by Bismarck, and then sent an emperor over to Mexico, and so the Habsburgs and the Austrians were. Anyway, it's very weird.
Where are you going with this, Johnny?
I've been reading a lot of shit because I'm not boozing, and it's very weird. I've become a very weird person. Eventually, but no, it's been kind of sick. Like I'm eating healthy. I'm kind of like captive to this healthy diet as well. Like I keep being offered junk food and I'm turning it down. Basically what I'm getting at is I'm going to stay ripalicious into my holiday in America.
You've never been ripalicious.
Which is getting more and more expensive by the day.
When have you ever been ripalicious? And what is this word?
I am presently ripalicious. The reverse leg ups on the monkey bars did wonders for my DMs.
One thing I will say about your gym videos.
Yeah.
They are entirely too short.
Too short?
They're too short.
Please
so
elaborate.
I don't know that beyond the 15-second story, you are actually doing anything more than one pull-up and one push-up.
But you saw me doing multiple ones.
When?
And on the video that I uploaded, I did 8, and then did 8 knee-ups, and then did 8 leg-ups.
Didn't see all that, mate.
Well,
not
you'd
sure
watch
anyone
the video
did.
all the way through.
Nah, no one saw that shit. If it wasn't like a 3-minute reel, it didn't happen. It didn't happen.
Unlike you, I'm a less is more kind of guy.
I just never uploaded a reel in my life, but they're coming though.
Wow.
I got some new kicks.
Wow.
There's going to be a reel.
Well, I'm going
to do a reel.
We were just lying on the podcast today.
I'm going to do a reel.
Anyway, no, I've been keeping it healthy.
Oh, yeah, I have done a
reel.
Kosher. I did that one reel.
Oh, yeah. Oh, do you know what else it will be on the day this comes out as well as your birthday?
What?
It'll be Rosh Hashanah. So Happy New Year. Shana Tova and all that to the Jew dem and the Goy dem.
Yeah.
All of them things. But yeah, I don't know, man. I'm keeping it.
It's just appropriating my birthday, but that's cool.
100%. We were there first, but anyway, we're keeping it healthy, keeping it kosher, keeping it cool, staying healthy, and doing my thing. I don't know. It's just been alright. Just keep on reading books.
I'm happy you're happy. I'm happy you're healthy. I know it's like 2021. 2020. I didn't drink during the pandemic. During
it was
the
long,
week.
but bare boring.
During the week. 2021, I didn't drink a drop of alcohol at home.
Even more boring.
All the year. Even when I was recording this bad boy.
Yeah. We could tell.
So I know what it's like when you make these cuts to your life. It can be very, very nice, and you can feel the change. You can feel it.
Oh goodness, I've saved so much money as well.
That too.
In this economy.
That too.
Hey.
Yeah.
Booze is
I'm
expensive.
currently cutting off like sweets and stuff. Anyone who knows me knows I got a sweet tooth. And yeah, I've been cutting them out since I got back from Portugal in August as well. Yeah, so yeah, man.
Good for your teeth.
All these little things that you can do to just better your insides.
Yes.
To improve your aesthetic.
Yes.
Do it, innit? There was entirely too much coverage of man like Prince Andrew at that Queen's funeral.
Yeah, a bit mad, nah?
What is going on?
The young rehab.
It was just Andrew, pan to Harry, pan back to Andrew.
Yeah.
Some choir stuff.
Kind of bleak how they
walking.
Yeah, kind of bleak how they put Harry in the same uniform as the nonce.
It's mad, isn't it? No, I feel like Andrew got had a better suit. I feel like his setup was like better. I don't know if they were technically the same, but it looked like Andrew's just had a bit more sauce and a bit more tailoring.
Are you just becoming a dad bod fan in anticipation of the inevitable?
Why do you keep saying things that just are not me? Have you seen me? Like, look at me, dad bod.
Just say you like Prince
Come
Andrew.
on,
Just
like,
say you
look,
like.
no, but come on, look at me, bro. Look at me, bro.
Say that you
Dad
like
bod?
Prince Andrew's body. Just
No,
say
I'm
it's a
I'm
safe
just
space.
saying that like it looks like they pulled out the family tailor for Prince Andrew, and it looks like they sent Harry to TM Lewin and said figure it out. Man looked like he was like readjusting the waistline a few times. Maybe he didn't put a belt on.
Maybe.
It just didn't look great. He looked like an outcast. Megan though,
very good. Very good.
Mashallah.
Mashallah. Yes, the princess
it
this country deserves.
Season 1 of Suits, rude boy.
The worst TV show ever made, but continue.
Nah, I mean it became terrible, but
It was
Rachel Zane.
It was terrible.
Season 1 of Suits.
So I've heard. Yes.
It was giving flashbacks.
Okay, very good.
Who else looked good? Everyone was talking a lot about Kate Middleton, but I think she's...
You see how her and William are so obviously separated? That was fucking jokes.
Oh yeah? I didn't notice. I
They're
wasn't
walking bare far away from each
I wasn't
other.
deep in body language like that.
Oh yeah, no. I mean, I didn't watch it. I went to work.
You were at work?
Yeah, I went to work. I get an extra day's holiday, bruv.
I would have rather
What do you
been
mean?
at work, to be honest.
I listened to my audiobook all day. I didn't do jack shit.
Yeah, it was. I mean, to be fair, it was a very nice funeral. I know it was like a template, and I know that we're probably going to be in a situation in 10 years again when King Charles kicks it as well, but...
Yeah, I'm not being funny, but like when your funeral costs 170 million quid that other people are paying for, it
Is that
should
how much
be
it costs?
Yeah, we paid for it, 170 million quid.
Bro, you got to get over that shit, bro. There's going to be more of that.
Well, why are we paying for it?
After today, we're paying for everything.
Well, yeah, fuck it. Yeah,
your government again is fucking
my
us
government.
Up. Your government.
Your chancellor.
Your government, bro.
Your chancellor.
Bruv, we need to get Kwasi Kwarteng to Dave's International Barber in Peckham because, like, I don't want to be that guy, but Boris held a lot of heat about his unshaven head. So I'm equal opportunist with this shit, right? He needs a trim. He needs a fucking trim. And I'm going to take him. Kwasi, if you're hearing this, I will take you. We'll go to a trim, bruv. I know a couple Kurdish guys who will nice you.
Listen, he's piped his way up to the post of chancellor with that trim.
Yeah.
As David Moyes said, don't change a winning team.
Yeah. But why do people keep talking about Harry and like William? Like, are they really beefing? I don't how much can you really beef your bro?
White people are different, innit?
Really?
Yeah. Yeah, I think so. Especially when there's like power at play as well and whatnot. I just think they're not on
Brothers
speaking
have a
terms.
different bond though, man.
But William's got a vested interest in the institution of the monarchy staying pure, right? Because it's his only ticket to success. Like, what else has he actually done with his life?
But you don't think
at least Harry's
like,
done some shit.
But you don't think like when he's doing the whole public, yes, I'm for the monarchy stuff. He's just like sending a secret little WhatsApp at the end of the night saying, "Yo, Harry, I get you, bro. I'm with you, bro. Like, let's meet up at the pub down the corner, bro. I feel you, bro."
It might not necessarily be that simple. Because there's more. It is more than just Will and the kids, right? There is an entire institution. There is the entire landed gentry of the country that the royal family protects, which is part of the beef of why it's such a rotten institution. Why it's entirely fine to not be super pro funeral on every fucking channel in the country.
And we reached the conclusion that it was definitely William who asked about the shade.
I thought we said. Did we
the
not say
baby.
Charles? Because William has met Raheem Sterling before, so
he couldn't possibly be.
So he's not ignorant,
And he supports Aston Willa, and
Right.
they've got Jamaicans on their right wing, cutting him from the right on the left.
They've also got a couple of mixed race players and whatnot. So he would know what Bajans look like.
Yeah.
But no, I thought we said it was Charles. I thought we said it was Charles. Because remember, like, Diana left him for an Arab, so he was like, is it going to be the same colour as that?
Yeah. Did you see the Instagram video of the lady who said that the wait in the queue for the lying in state was as important, if not more important, than the birth of her two kids?
Jesus.
Did you see that?
I did not see that.
Vaseline, bruv.
I did see Prince Charles shake everyone's hand except the one black man in the lion.
That
was
almost took me to an early grave from laughter.
That was
because
so-
he then
he
forced
grabbed
the handshake. Do you know how embarrassed you have to feel to grab a king's wrist and say, "I will receive
Shake
this
it.
handshake"? Do you know how long I have waited here? If you do not shake my hand, you will have 10 days as King Maximum. I was so sad for him, but I just couldn't get over the laughter.
Funny. That was so.
He got the handshake though. Shout out that man.
Yeah,
Honestly,
Uncle earned it.
Uncle got the. He got it. I can't lie. I'm glad that it's amazing how and I think this is a sign of like the times. we've just been able to switch off. It's been 10 days in the morning where it's just been like, oh my God, sadness. And you felt the sadness in the air, to the funeral taking place. And then everyone just being like, all right, move on. Next.
Yeah.
Have you noticed that?
Yeah, well, I mean, we've all got ADHD. That's the whole point of social media, right?
It's mad.
But also, like, I just don't think that, like, on this, I think, honestly, hot take, the vast majority of public grievance over this was public performance. I honestly don't think most people gave a shit, really. It's just one has to be seen to be doing the right thing.
I think a lot of people give a shit, but I'm just not quite sure why. And I'm not entirely sure they know why either. You keep hearing this thing of where it's like, she's the only thing we've ever known. She's the only continuity in all of our lives. And I'm like, you are 30. She's 96.
Yeah, like this.
What do you mean? And then they were doing coverage on the BBC and shit. And then they'd have like a crazy 80-year-old who's got all the badges and all the regalia, all that shit, right? Saying, oh, she's amazing and I love her and I'm going to miss her and I don't know what I'm going to do without her, which is very sus. But then they'd pan to like a 5-year-old and be like, so what does the Queen mean to you then? I mean,
my nana gave me £20 for Easter and she's on the face, so I love her.
What do you want little Jessie to say?
Yeah, no, it's madness. This country's just in bondage and Stockholm syndrome to its own fucking bizarre class system. It's very weird. It's very weird. Yeah, I kind of hope that at least Charles might be the last, because, like, again, as we said in the last episode, there was some credo given to her because she had been around for so long, so many people had suffered under it, that she had some social capital in the bank, right? And the progress of companies basically saying we're bouncing has increased. And I think that Charles may well end up being the last one. I think really, if William's a decent bloke, just admit you like getting pegged by a dominatrix and tin the whole lot, bruv. You can keep the palaces. Just stop wasting our fucking money. Allegedly.
I feel that. Yeah, and look, as I said, I think it was a lovely wedding overall.
Wedding.
What did I say?
Wedding.
That's a real mental block for me, by the way.
Is it?
Whenever I'm talking about funerals, I always say wedding. It's a mad one.
That's weird.
I don't know why. It was a very beautiful funeral, I'll be honest.
Yeah,
right?
man.
The walk was the thing that impressed me the most, because like the motion involved, like just that seamless in tandem motion for me was just blowing my fucking mind, because it's just like, yo, how is that even possible? Did they rehearse that shit? But it was quite nice. The church service was nice, and you know, a lot of people were saying that that's been in the works since 2005. I think who's the black Archbishop of York or something, the black guy. He was like, yeah, he's had the plan of the funeral for like since 2005.
Yeah, it's been around time.
So it's clearly a template, and it's clearly something, as I said before, we're probably going to see soon again, unless King Charles III starts yamming on that amala. He starts yamming on that pounded yam.
Stay away from the Viagra.
He needs to get on that shaki.
Yeah.
He needs to get some very hardened jollof rice.
He needs to eat a lot of tomato. Get that blood
guts
pressure down.
and bowels, bruv. That might keep you here until 96 like your old mama, you know what I mean? But all that game meat that you guys eat, oh, you gotta be careful, bruv.
Today it's all madness. Just fucking, let's just stop pretending, man. Just tin the lot. They offer no value. Liz is dead. May she rest in peace, whatever.
Yeah.
But like we don't need them. We
Yeah.
can stop the percent. I keep hearing people go back to this tourism argument. It's just mad dumb. Yeah. The Forbidden Palace is in Beijing is the most visited tourist site in the world.
Yeah.
Like the Qing dynasty died out fucking time ago.
Yeah.
Versailles is universally way more visited palace than the UK palaces. And none of our palaces make it to like the top 20 tourist attractions in the world. Why? Because you're not allowed inside. Imagine if they opened up Buckingham Palace and Windsor Palace and actually let like punters pay for a ticket, then we'd make some fucking money. But just give them Kensington Palace and Edge of Hyde Park, tell them to fuck off. It's pointless now.
I hear that. And on the subject of money.
Oh boy.
So one of the things that was delayed in the midst of the Queen kicking it was the budget adjustments, or the budget announcement that was going to come from the Tory government, from new Chancellor of the Exchequer, Kwasi Kwarteng, which, by the way, I think is a great rap name.
Yeah.
Came today. The budget came today, and quite inaccurately donned as a mini budget when it was far from.
There was nothing mini about this budget.
A mini budget.
Jesus.
Now, if you want some of the headlines, which we're going to go through in a little bit more detail, you need to know the following about what happened today. So, firstly, the highest rate of income tax was abolished, meaning some of you big earners will pay the same tax rate as those on £50,000. And that cutoff for this new abolished upper rate of tax, which was 45%, applies at the £150,000 a year salary mark. Secondly, the basic rate of income tax, so what was 20%, is set to be cut by 1 penny, so it's going down to 19%. Third, corporation tax increase that was implemented, I believe, by Rishi, which went from 19 to 25%, has just gone. It's off the table. Corporations, alhamdulillah, in all the way through to the bank.
We now do that.
Also, bankers can now, this is crazy, bankers can now earn, actually, I'm going to get your view on this. Bankers can now earn unlimited bonuses as the bonus cap is lifted. Stamp duty. So there are changes to stamp duty as well. So there's going to be no stamp duty for up to 250k on house purchases. It gets even better for you if you are a first-time buyer.
Yes.
Because there'll be no stamp duty on the first 425k in the value of your home.
Yes.
And then the national insurance hike, which was implemented by Rishi, has been reversed as well. So again, that nice chunk of money that you were losing in your monthly salary, you will get back, but naturally relative to your earnings. So it will be another way in which the bigger earners take home more cash. Now, this has all been very nicely marketed using a term the Tories have now called trickle-down economics.
Oh, fuck off.
Which is their belief that in order to get growth going, to get spending going, to get the economy going, you need to give money back to the rich so they can spend more money, even if it means that the people who are less fortunate have less money to also contribute similarly. Look, the markets did not like old Trussonomics because for the first time since 1985, pound went down to, what was it, $1.10?
Oh, yeah, above it. No, I think the 1985 level was $1.12 or $1.13 or something.
So it went lower.
Oh, we blew through that. We got to 109 handle.
And obviously everybody who is anybody, experts, the people who aren't even experts, are considering this the beginning of the end. And what they're saying is that the total costing of the budget was £45 billion. And the last time we did budget changes to that value was followed by the biggest housing crash in history.
Yeah, no, the entire package that Kwasi Kwarteng announced over the course of 5 years is 161 billion. There's an increase of borrowing of 70 billion to fund the energy piece, but all the packages, the total package announced today is going to cost 161 billion over the next 5 years.
Maybe I read something else.
Yeah, it's a fucking madness. So we're recording this on Friday, or the day of the budget. I've spent all day on a trading floor. It's been a fucking myth.
Bloodbath.
It has been a fucking
murder on the dance floor.
Murder on the trading floor. Basically, anyone I've been speaking to with anything to do about markets remotely for the last couple of years, and I'm pretty sure I've said it on this podcast as well. You will have heard.
Oh, is it Johnny saying "I told you so"?
I told you so.
Yeah.
I'm pretty sure that I've said that Britain is an emerging market, or Britain's economy is becoming an emerging market economy. The sterling is no longer a serious currency. It's becoming an emerging market currency, etc., etc. As much as I don't particularly like the term, the economy is fucked. The currency is now screwed, and we're no longer a serious country. And what happened today was evidence of that, and certainly the market's reaction to the policies announced are evidence of that. So to put into context of what happened a couple of days before, rather the day before the budget announcement, the Bank of England had also delayed its interest rate hike. And without getting into the nitty-gritty of central banking policy, when there is inflation and the government needs to bring inflation under control, what it does is it raises interest rates by making borrowing more expensive and by making depositing cash at the Bank of England more attractive to banks. It reduces borrowing to the real economy, and it also sucks liquidity out of the economy by getting banks to put money at the Bank of England rather than lending it out. The effect of this is to slow economic growth, and by slowing economic growth, you slow inflation. The Bank of England bottled the decision to raise by 75 basis points, basically because they were in denial about the inflationary impact or the forward prospects of inflation in the UK. Fast forward to the budget, where Kwasi Kwarteng says that they're going to spend £161 billion over the next 5 years. Most of it financed through debt borrowing, certainly not through tax increases, because they're just cutting taxes willy-nilly. And the markets went...
just to break that down in layman's terms for people who aren't either politically inclined or inclined in economics, the concept of us borrowing to get ourselves out of debt.
So the two main terms in government finance are debt and deficit. The deficit is the number. Say, for example, you earn $3,000 a month, and you've gone on a bit of a mad one. There's been a few birthdays this month, and you spend $4,000 this month. Then you are in £1,000 deficit. Because you earn $3,000, but you spent $4,000. That's your deficit. So how do you finance that deficit? Well, chances are that you might have some savings, so you can call in your savings to pay off that deficit. You might have some shit that you can sell, so you get rid of the PlayStation, your fucking Yeezys.
I was going to say Yeezys.
Or you sell ass on OnlyFans, like that, or underwear or whatever. You can finance your deficit through assets, or you go to your credit card, right? And so your deficit, that £1,000, you earn $3,000, you spent $4,000, you have no ass left to sell. You go to hit the credit card, and so you borrow that money.
Onlyfans.com /JV.
JV ass.
JV Johnny V Vass.
So that's quite good. So your £1,000 deficit is paid off through debt. You borrow that £1,000. And then let's say the next month you earn $3,000, but you spend $4,000 again. Your deficit is again £1,000, but you borrow it. But you haven't actually paid off the £1,000 from the last one, right? So now your debt stands at $2,000. You've got no deficit, but you owe $2,000 because you've borrowed it off your credit card, right? So debt and deficit are two different things. Deficit is what you owe. It's kind of like a balance of payment. And your debt is what you've borrowed. Now, governments aren't people. They don't have credit cards. What governments do to finance deficits is either raise taxes or borrow money. And by borrowing money, they issue debt. They issue bonds. A bond, very simply, is a debt obligation. It's an IOU. So the UK government says that for a term of 10 years, we will pay you a prevailing market interest rate. Let's just say that this market interest rate is 1%. Okay. So every year for the next 10 years, we're going to pay you 1% of what you give us. And at the end of 10 years, we're going to give you back what you paid. So let's say that you give the government £1 million. You get 1% a year of £1 million, which is 10 grand. So every year you get 10 grand, 10 grand, 10 grand, 10 grand, 10 grand for 10 years. And then at the end of 10 years, they give you back the £1 million. Okay. So that is them hitting the credit card to finance all the birthday parties. Now, what they're doing is they're going to increase the deficit or increase the spending by about 160 billion quid, which, as I understand, blows the deficit wider by something like 70 to 80 billion, because their projections are for growth to finance some of it. But that's also going to be financed by a shit ton of debt. Shit ton of debt. Okay. And the real stupid thing about this is that we've been listening to an economic policy over the last 12 years, largely, which said that not only do we need to get deficits down, but we need to get borrowing down. And through that was the excuse for not investing in infrastructure. Now, what's happened over the last 10 to 12 years is that interest rates have been very low. And interest rates have been very low because growth and inflation have been very low. So interest rates were kept low because keeping interest rates low helps stoke growth and inflation, because, as I said earlier, when interest rates are high, borrowing is more expensive and it's less attractive to deposit money in a central bank. When interest rates are low, it means that because it's less attractive to deposit money at the central bank, you lend it out to the real economy. And because it's cheaper for the real economy to borrow it, they do so. So rather than the government borrowing money at a cheap rate for the last 12 years, as interest rates have fucking blown up, because inflation has blown up because of Russia and because of post-COVID supply squeezes, now they've decided to borrow a shit ton of money. And so the net effect of the government choosing to borrow a shit ton of cash.
It's basically like buying at the high, isn't it?
So what it is it's like refinancing your credit card at the highs of interest rates.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, that's what they're doing.
Literally.
So what's happened now is that because the government has promised that it's going to go on a tax cut binge in some idea or dream of getting economic growth going, but also directly borrowing a shit ton of cash to finance energy spending and other programs, that has increased expectations of growth. And increasing the expectations of growth and government spending in particular feeding through to inflation means the Bank of England is going to have to raise its interest rates even more. So what has happened is that the government, not only are they and we'll get into the nitty gritty of what the tax cuts and brackets mean, but not only are they borrowing a shit ton of cash that's now at recent history, expensive levels to do so, but in doing so are going to push up the rates at which everyone's mortgages and bank loans are set from. So not only are they making it more expensive for them to borrow, they're going to make it more expensive for you to borrow. Now, that's important in the context of what happened to the gilt market, which is the UK government bond market. It fell totally apart. In the same fashion that the stock market fell apart, they both fell apart because international markets lost confidence in them. They lost confidence in them. And in the case of the stock market, because people are starting to see that maybe that this country can't really operate unless the government finances all of its economic activity. But also in the case of the gilt market, because they're going to issue a shit ton more debt. And so when there is more supply of something for a constant amount of demand, the value of it goes down. Now, how one can tell that the market thinks that the country is fucked in particular isn't necessarily through the bond market falling apart or even the stock market falling apart. How one can tell that the market thinks the country is fucked is by the currency falling apart. And so the only opportunity I'm going to take to nerd out before I get back to simpleness is that what happened when the finance minister of a country...
Wait, you haven't been nerding out?
I think I've been keeping it fairly straightforward so far.
I'm joking, don't bite.
What happens, genuinely, for a finance minister to get up on a podium, say some shit, and then government bond yields to spike as the currency collapses is truly, truly emerging market stuff. You
100%.
have properly fucked this big time.
100%.
And so the significance of the FX market is international investors basically saying, we don't want to hold sterling, this currency ain't worth shit.
Yep.
Bond yields you can explain by the increase in supply. Stock market you can kind of explain by just a lack of confidence in the real economy that this budget has announced. But the economy falling apart is driven because international investors no longer see value in holding the currency. Despite interest rates going up, all things being equal, currencies and yields should move in the same direction, because if the government is going to pay you more than on its interest, as I mentioned earlier, you get 1%, 1%, 1%. If the government's going to pay you 3% a year, then it should be more desirable to hold that currency so you can start getting that 3%. But even with interest rates blowing upwards, nobody wants to hold this government debt because they understand that not only is there probably more borrowing coming down the line, but it's very unlikely to work as an economic policy. And the proof of the pudding is the currency collapse. What's even more fucking stupid is that they've announced a shit ton of borrowing to go towards the buying of the energy price cap, which, as we've discussed before, is a very poor way of making these bills affordable. I think about 60 billion of it is going towards that. 70 billion is going towards the energy price cap piece specifically. Well, you could have raised the same amount by putting a tax or a windfall tax on those energy and oil companies. They've chosen not to. It's a political choice. They're going to make you pay for it rather than the energy companies. And when I say you pay for it, it's because tax money is what pays off government debt. Yep. This is your debt. You're paying for this, right? But within that 60 billion package, the current what was the point I was getting at? Anyway, the currency is falling apart, and it's fucking stupid because they've announced they're going to spend a shit ton of money on paying off the oil. But as the currency is falling apart, because the energy that we buy is denominated in dollars, right? We're buying this. We're spending the same amount of money. We're getting a lot less energy for it, right? If you think about the exchange rate going from 110 to 109. Even let's say 113 to 109 as it moved today. Let's say that the cost of oil is something like $60 billion, right? That price doesn't move because oil and gas trades in dollar denominations. But if our currency is weakening, then we can't buy as much of it, right? So we're borrowing more to be able to buy less because the market has no confidence in our economic ability. So on top of issuing more debt, which we have to pay off, which is pushing up our own borrowing costs, the lack of clear strategy has led international investors to deem that the currency isn't worth investing in So on top of saddling us with more debt to buy something, we can now buy less of it, and you are still going to have to pay more of it. But the worst thing is, and I'm going to wrap up here, this country operates with about an 8% current account deficit. So what that means is that 8% of our GDP, we have an 8% deficit in our GDP in terms of what we import versus what we export. Everything we import is now more expensive. And so people are very well aware of the concept of, fuck, I can't go to the US now, or it's going to be expensive for me to go to Europe, which is a lot of the conversations people are having in the summer, that holidays are becoming more expensive because sterling is being devalued against the euro and other currencies. But more pertinently, we import our gas. In the same way that you effectively import your holiday, you import your gas and your electricity in a foreign currency at the macro level. But we also import all of our food from other countries, and we're paying in euros and dollars and sterling. And so companies are going to be paying more because the currency is collapsing. That's going to feed through to inflation. So everything they've done today not only has transferred the tax burden from the rich to the poor and given the rich a shit ton of money off, but it's going to make poor people spend more on things.
So just want to make a quick shout out to all the Labour supporters.
Yep.
Or anti-Tory supporters who are big earners, because I don't hear you complaining about these changes, because when it gives you money, you are silent.
Yeah, and it's
when
preposterous.
you are losing money, you are top of the hill shouting and screaming.
Yeah. So
I've seen a lot of people who are like proper Labour supporters who I know are earning bank, who ain't said a fucking thing today.
Yeah, and it's disgraceful, really. It is disgraceful because, like, basically, if you earn over 155k a year, you've done well, and if you earn under 155k a year, you've done poorly.
I think it's 150. I looked at it. I think it's just 150.
So that with the 19%, etc. I think 155 is, according to the IFS, is the number, right? But fine. Whatever, we're splitting hairs. I ran some numbers on like the tax saving that you get, difference between 200,000 and 20,000, and basically the percentage of tax saving that you get is literally double if you earn 200 grand a year versus 20 grand a year. So this is like unashamedly a tax budget for the rich. So this is like, we're getting to the point where like the Tories have taken the mask off so many times that they're just like scratching flesh off their face at this point. It's obscene.
Just want to apologise on behalf of the West Africans in London committee. Would like to apologise for Kwasi Kwarteng's decision today, his hairline, and the fact that he may have been clapping cheeks with our Prime Minister. Yeah,
allegedly.
Once upon a time.
Allegedly.
Yeah.
No, it's horrendous. I don't know how much more time I'm allowed to pop off about this.
No,
the economy's fucked,
literally
basically.
Literally none. Do you still think that Keir Starmer's approach of just chilling and watching it all crash?
That's what I was going to say.
And watching it all crash is a shit decision.
No, it's awful. So on our weekly Fuck You Keir Starmer segment, the Labour Party were offered the chance to say whether or not they would reverse the decision to cut the 45p tax band. Bearing in mind that now if you earn 50 grand...
When are you going to realise that this is just the strategy?
I'm aware it's the strategy.
Hold on. Opportunities to say, I will do different to the Tories.
But they weren't.
No, but that's what I was going to say.
They won't do different.
People keep on judging them on the fact that they keep getting asked, would you do things differently to the Tories?
No.
They say no every time, but they're not really saying no. What they're really saying, if you read between the lines, even if you're not a Keir Starmer supporter, I know you think I am, but I mean, like, whatever. They're just waiting for that fucking ship to sink, bro.
No. But it's not going to say. Okay, so there's a few things to unpack here. So
no, we're not unpacking anything. We have just unpacked.
Labour were offered the chance to say that they would reverse this decision, and they have declined to do so. It puts them in a difficult political position because they can't run, because they've put themselves into this political picture. If Corbyn came back, let's say that the Corbynistas came back and said, we're going to raise taxes for the rich, people would understand that platform. But the Labour Party, now Starmer's Labour Party can't do it because they're pretending not to be that party, right? They can't do it. So they're in politically difficult position because they want those Tory votes.
Because you're a Tory, you don't have any.
Yeah, slander. You only get so many turns in episodes.
You don't have any faith in the strategy.
No.
The manifesto and the policies
there is no
will
policy
come
or manifesto because they agree with they ideologically agree with this. They don't mind this.
They do not agree. They do not agree with today. That ideologically, that's bullshit, and you know it. They do not agree with today.
I think they're perfectly happy with it.
Bullshit. You know the Labour Party today do not agree with it. Rachel Reeves went up there today. Rachel Reeves is the shadow chancellor of the Exchequer, so she's basically Kwasi Kwarteng's opposite. She went up there, she bodied them, bro.
Deeply unconvincing. There was certainly no counter.
It was not deeply unconvincing,
the
bro.
The job of an
only reason
opposition.
she got laughed at was when she said something along the lines of like, Labour are the party for, I don't know, generating... I can't remember. She said one line, which the whole place just erupted with laughter. But otherwise, she bodied.
Hopeless. The point of a shadow chancellor in opposition, when presented with an opportunity like this, is to present a shadow budget. Is to present what Labour would do. It's not enough in opposition just to say, well, we think that
you don't have the opportunity.
No, you do.
You don't have the opportunity in the House of Commons when you've just got the budget last night to then come up with a whole plan.
But you should have your own plan already. If you are government in waiting, you have your own budget.
Okay, but your plan has to be in response. Your point is that it has to be in response. If they come out with
rebutting that is very light work. You don't need to revise that.
Listen to me now. They get the budget hours before, if not the night before. They cannot number crunch and come up with something overnight in response. They have to see what the state of play is because of the government that we have and then make some tweaks. I understand you broadly. You have to have a vision, for sure. You have to have a strategy. But again, like, what is the first mover's advantage here for the Labour Party? What is it really? You come out and you say something which is a vision, which is so far removed from where the economy is, from where the sentiment of your members are, and you can completely get it wrong. Or you could wait to see what the incumbent are doing and then be like, you know what, that's kind of all right. That's very shit. And then go from there.
I disagree.
I just think it's two different ways of looking at the world. But
yeah, but if you're proposing to be a government in waiting, which is what the Labour Party should be doing.
But your whole thing is that Labour basically stand for nothing.
Yeah,
and that's not correct.
But you are kind of in support of that position because you're saying that they shouldn't have anything until they see what the other side do. My point is that they shouldn't have to wait to see what the other side do. They should have their own budget.
I'm saying that they stand for something. But
what is it?
But I just don't understand why. I don't understand where you would expect them to present this budget plan. Where would it be? On the Andrew Marr show on Sundays.
Communications. Yeah, that's the advantage of being in opposition.
They do that all the time. I think you're being convenient blind to loads of stuff that they talk about.
I actually ended up defending Rachel Reeves on Twitter yesterday because she said something, she didn't punctuate it properly, but her communication is so poor that people don't have an understanding of what Labour's economic policy is. As a Labour Party supporter member and fucking political nerd, I don't really know what the position is. And I think it's actually that they're not against this 45p scrapping because that's the constituency they're trying to target. But anyway, to wrap this up, something that you may be happy to hear as a closet Tory, there has been patter that Liz Truss is aiming to use the poll boost that may come from this tax cuts to schedule an early general election and front run the recession that she may be able to just about put off temporarily by funding gas bills.
Good luck to that woman.
If that's the case, then my triple prediction will come correct soon.
She ain't winning that shit.
She's going to win.
She ain't winning that shit.
She's going to win.
She's not going to win that shit.
She's going to win it.
All right.
5 years of Liz. Let's go.
All right. So now the serious chat has gone. That is the last serious thing we're going to talk about.
Is it?
On the docket today.
Okay.
Actually, no, there's one more serious thing, which we might talk about later. But it's time to talk about less serious stuff. Allow me to play you something.
Please.
Essentially, I was having an affair with a man who's married to a Victoria's Secret model. At the time, I was
You go, girl.
young, I was naive.
Oh, were you?
I mean, quite frankly, I feel exploited. I wasn't in the scene like I am now. So I was definitely very easily manipulated. Maroon 5 is practically elevator music at this point, so I'm sure you know who Adam Levine is.
That's rude.
Jewish king.
But
Is he Jewish?
Adam and I were seeing each other for about a year.
Adam Levine.
After I stopped talking to him
You got
over,
a point.
a period of months, this is how he came back into my life. He said, okay, serious question. I'm having another baby, and if it's a boy, I really want to name it Sumner. You okay with that? Dead serious.
Mazza.
That's direct chat. Yeah. That's game of privilege.
Can you imagine
That's
playing away from your wife, and then 2 years later going back to the old thing, the old little side, and saying,
I'm going to name the kid
my wife
after you.
is preggers. Me, I like your name. Can I use your name for the name of my new child?
Not even just a coincidental name. Your name.
I want your name.
Your name.
Can I use it? What the fuck? And if you don't know what I'm talking about, Adam Levine frontman, singer, Maroon 5.
The voice judge, I believe.
I saw that when I was researching today. Don't call Adam Levine the voice judge. This
Why?
guy is like an absolute fucking superstar and a very good like artist. So he's not defined by the judge. He's not defined by being a judge on The Voice.
I think he is.
But he has had to respond to allegations that he cheated on his wife, Behati Prinsloo. He was accused of having a year-long affair with Instagram model who you just heard, Sumner Stroh. A video she posted earlier this week. She shared text messages, as she just explained, going into what happened during that affair. It hasn't been proven that he actually had an affair, but clearly there was some messaging taking place between him and this model. She says she came forward with the affair allegations because one of the people that she shared that text message exchange with threatened to sell them to the tabloids.
Oh, bleak.
So she decided to get ahead of it. Now, what are your first thoughts?
My first thoughts are like perhaps he was preparing for Yom Kippur, which is coming up. He was fasting. You know, we all do weird shit when we're hungry. Jewish men don't cheat. Maybe it was an open relationship. It's sus. It's sus. He's also like, it's very gringo style game, the messages. Like one of the texts, he was just like, fuck, your body is amazing. And like, that's not great chat. That's not great chat.
Says Hinge Pappy.
So yeah, I would know as a fellow proponent of bad chat. I can help identify, especially bad chat of the Semitic kind.
Big facts.
It's awful chat. I mean, it's just weird. It's just rich celebrities fucking away, right? I mean, who gives a shit?
Yeah, now he obviously has had to come out with a statement.
Oh, he did? Mm-hmm. Is this an anti-Semitic hate campaign? Is that what?
Why does everything have to be Jewish?
Well, you keep picking negative stories about Jewish subjects, so you tell me.
Your king said, a lot is being said about me right now and I want to clear the air. I used poor judgment in speaking with anyone other than my wife in any kind of flirtatious manner.
Yes.
I did not have an affair. Nevertheless, I crossed the line during a regrettable period in my life.
Is it a learn and grow thing?
In certain instances, it became inappropriate. I have addressed that and taken proactive steps to remedy this with my family.
Yes.
My wife and my family is all I care about in the world. To be this naive and stupid enough to risk the only thing that truly matters to me was the greatest mistake I could ever make. I will never make it again. I take full responsibility. We will get through it. I think that's up to her, buddy. And we will get through it together again. I think that's up to her, buddy. So he did this just like brazenly off his blue tick account on Instagram.
Not even on the creep or the burner or anything.
Didn't even go for a ghost account.
Nah.
Just sliding in DMs.
Just dick out.
Now, my thing is this. This guy probably performs to 100,000 people every other week.
Yeah.
Dog. Just do like an R. Kelly, innit? Just have him lined up.
Whoa.
Oh, no, wait, that's wrong. That's wrong.
Whoa.
Yeah, no,
that
wrong.
was rich.
Yeah,
that was rich.
Meant. That's not what I meant. What I meant was like artists line up like things after the shows, right? And then take them off somewhere where it's a team of people who are in on your sus behavior, innit?
Still sounds quite R. Kelly.
It's not there in text for people to see.
Yes.
For people to snap shots.
We're saying for
people to leak.
Your advice is if you're going to cheat intelligently. Is that what you're getting at?
Basically.
Yeah.
Because I'm not going to sit here and say that people don't cheat. Fucking hell, man. Yeah. Like, you know, rest in peace, my pops. Like, you know what I mean? I got off, brother.
Yeah, it happens. Yeah.
I mean, whatever. It happens. But I think you have to be a particular kind of dickhead to do it in such a way which exposes you and potentially fucks up things with your pregnant wife. Did I mention that she was pregnant?
You did not mention that, no.
Sorry. I forgot to mention that bit.
Yes.
That little nugget of information. Detail. His wife is pregnant.
Yeah, that's
currently.
That's
and the news came out 3 months into her pregnancy. For fuck's sake.
That's not great.
And then obviously other women came out. A couple of others said that he was also sliding in them DMs as well. One of them said that she posted her DMs because she feels really bad for Adam's wife and encourages other girls to do the same. I always find that quite funny because do you know what? One really perfect way of showing another woman you care about her?
Go on.
By publicly humiliating her,
yeah,
of course.
It's true. Yeah. Bringing her into the limelight. Letting her light
I care
shine
so
with
much
yours.
about you, pregnant wife of Adam, that I'm going to reveal to you
At the same time as everyone else.
that he cheated.
Yeah.
First of all, I never got the hype about this Adam Levine guy. He's certainly not on my list.
No,
of
Maroon
white,
5 used to bang.
No, him. I mean,
Okay.
he's not on my list of white guys I'd look like.
Okay, yeah, I can understand that.
But like girls go crazy for him.
Do
like,
they?
Crazy for him.
Really? Still?
Yeah, for real. Like he's like most women who I speak to, they're like, yo, Adam Levine, I'd sit on his face.
Wow, that's
Yeah,
weird.
yeah.
I kind of feel like Maroon 5 are kind of like Razorlight or Paolo Nutini or the
Relax,
Fratellis.
relax.
But just with a bit more longevity.
Relax. Should we have a conversation about side chicks?
How long have we got? No.
Like there comes a point where, and look, we need to preface this by saying, let's say preface.
Yeah. Preface?
It's the whiskey. I need to preface this by saying,
I think you can say preface, can't you?
all right, cool.
I think you can.
Fuck it.
I'm going to sign it.
There's wrong very much from Levine's side.
Yeah.
That needs to be said.
But.
First. And slowly so it hits.
But.
So there's no doubts about my feelings on that.
Remember Pops used to say everything before the bite is bullshit?
Meh.
Pero.
Sometimes.
Oh.
Side chicks, or women rather, who know that they're entering into these situations with married men who have 2 kids at that stage, need to stop being in denial about their place in that dynamic.
Ooh, drop it.
Dare I say.
Drop it.
It is not his fault you fell in love with the guy.
Did she know he was married when she
It's
sat on his
Adam
face?
Levine, bro. He's been Adam Levine for like 20 years now.
Maybe she didn't have Google. Maybe.
What, like Meghan Markle? When she first met
Did she not
Harry?
have- did she not have
She's like, I
Google?
never Googled him.
I swear.
Yeah, that's what she said at Oprah. That's why no one likes her, because she lied. I didn't like that either, to be fair. Fam, like, back in the day when Google wasn't even a thing, I was trying to Google chicks I met, like,
Swear down.
100%, bruv. You never know,
Yeah,
like.
that was a bit of a sus line.
Come on.
But also, everyone kind of knew him anyway, because like,
How have you
it's the
not,
royal family
have
and
you
that,
not
innit?
Googled Harry? What
Yeah,
are you talking
it's
about?
kind
You've
of a mad
Googled
chat.
every last bit. And the
She's,
thing is,
and the wicked is she's Canadian, so it's not like she doesn't know who the royal family
no,
are.
but the
as
thing
well.
is, he's like the absolute perfect type of person to Google, because there's just like mad information on him on the internet.
Yeah,
So if she
yeah,
really
yeah.
wants to find out anything about his previous girlfriends and all that stuff, that's like perfect if you're a celebrity.
Well,
on his
maybe
level.
she was so enchanted with Piers Morgan and the pint down the pub before she went to the party that she didn't have time. She didn't have time.
Not buying it. So to your point,
What?
Summer,
I haven't made a point.
Sumner,
You made a
no,
point.
you said maybe she didn't Google it. Maybe her
Oh,
Google
right.
was broken. There's not a chance in hell,
Yeah.
sir.
Yeah, she willingly sat on that face. So this is why I think.
And then she tried to draw for the lines. You heard the recording.
Oh, I was young, I was naive, I was manipulated.
Yeah, well, I mean, she was attracted by power, right? And like, maybe he has a responsibility not to give it back.
Panda the panda.
Yeah,
Stop it.
Yeah, it's true.
Stop it.
It's true. Yeah, I mean, she knew that he was married, so like, you have to wear this one. I'm afraid, but like, this is kind of where I think the French have the right approach to cheating, and like, they understand, like, they all cheat on each other relentlessly. It's fucking obscene, right? But
That's comforting.
But they don't let the other half know.
That's comforting.
That's kind of the social contract they have between them. So like, everyone knew that Francois Hollande was cheating on Ségolène Royal from time, and it was blessed until he got caught. And then that's what started fucking with the presidency, right? They all cheat on each other. It's cultural, but they don't let each other know, and so the marriages survive. And I think maybe the Victoria's Secret and Instagram and washed up pop singer thought community could learn a lesson from this cultural advancement that the Europeans have made.
Yeah, I just think she's trying to get more subscribers on her OnlyFans, bro. I'm not gonna lie.
She got OnlyFans?
I think she's an OnlyFans model as well. Yeah. I
Mad.
think she's just trying to get subscribers. That was the only
Maybe.
thing.
Well, it's worked. Let her get the bag.
Nah, not at other people's expense, bro. There's a family involved there. Like, you knew what you were signing up
I
for.
mean, there was a family involved when she was sitting in his face.
And she knew what she signed up for. So
Yeah.
she's got to take responsibility. So the problem with today's society is that people just don't want to accept their L's. They do not want to accept the L, right? You went in there probably trying to take him from his wife.
Do you think? That was going to be my question.
Well, look, clearly, because if she wasn't trying to,
I haven't seen
if she
pictures or
wasn't trying to get him, then she wouldn't be upset by what was going on.
Yeah.
She would have left it with the person who threatened to take it to the tabloids to do that shit. So it wasn't her who revealed it. And it wasn't like she was going on this thing and being like, look, I'm playing my part in this. I'm holding my hands up. I knew, I know I was wrong. She was kind of just like,
Blaming him for it.
Yeah, blaming him, dissing the music, saying they're elevating music, all this other shit. Like, she's not taking her L.
That
she's
is
not
rude.
taking. She's not taking her L here.
Yeah.
And that's a big problem because again, you knew who that brother was. Again, if it was a ghost account and there was some doubt as to who it was, fine. but there was a blue chick.
Blue
tick.
There was
there was a blue
Mystique
chick.
turned up.
There was an avatar. There was a blue tick next to that name. Should have known better, bitch.
Yeah, maybe. Well, as the common expression goes, when a mistress marries the man, she merely opens up a job vacancy. So just if you know that he's married anyway, don't be fucking him.
And I hope they get together. I hope they stay together, him and Bahati, his wife, because I mean, look, technically he didn't have an affair in it, so. Well,
he obviously dicked it down, so I kind of hope that she gets the bag. In divorce or in marriage.
But did he though?
Probably. I mean, probably. Probably.
But did he?
Probably.
How do we know?
I mean,
if they banged, don't you think the text would be saucier?
That's a good point,
right?
But maybe he was smart / media trained enough to not let all the filth go in the DMs, right? So he was like, you're gonna have to call me if you want that.
Yeah, I'm not buying it. I don't think he had sexual relations with that woman.
Is it enough to dump someone if they're dropping Levine level slander in the DMs to another girl?
Yo, Bahati, babes, you better have some fucking perspective. You're going out with one of the hottest men in the world. Yo, there are gonna be some DMs. There are gonna be some DM exchanges. Goddammit.
So there'll be DMs coming in.
You gotta have thick skin, my babes.
But is it right for DMs to be going out in that context?
Hey, look. Hey, he's on the road a lot. Okay, I put it to you that if you have that amount of very nice looking female attention, that eventually you're gonna buckle a little bit. At that level, bro. At that level, we're not talking like Rich from fucking Bo, yo. Like that's Adam Levine, man.
Yeah, I don't know. I mean, I operate in a similar league, and it's not a struggle that I have.
This whiskey is whiskeying. Lost a lot of the female fan base with this one.
I can hear the unsubscribes.
Literally.
Click.
I'm sorry.
Click.
You knew this day was coming. We were lulling you into thinking we were sweet boys.
Well, I'm sweet boy.
We're both sweet boys, but you just go out of your way to try and like reinforce that fact when you're actually the scummiest of us.
Whoa.
Let's be fucking real.
2 Jewish men you've attacked in this segment.
Yep. And on the subject of City Boys being down, man, I don't even know how the world is in such a fuck place that I have to say
who are we vibing? Vibing?
Nia Long.
Ah, yes. Who are we mourning
has been cheated on.
Yeah.
Nia Long.
Yeah.
One of the baddest.
Yeah. Like credentialed up.
In living history. Has been cheated on by Ime Udoka, and I even think he sounds Nigerian.
I didn't want to say
which is upsetting for me because we do not cheat.
Yeah, well,
black men don't cheat. Nigerian men, we do not cheat.
Yeah, can you search what part of Nigeria you think he might be from? Because if he's Yoruba,
look, there's anomalies in it. As I said, my dad was on a thing in it. But
if he's Yoruba, it's going to be
that's
tough.
rude. He's definitely not with a name like that. He's not Yoruba. He's Igbo, isn't it?
Probably.
Them ones there. You got to be careful. He's been sacked.
That's slander. I support those people.
But we got a little bit. Yeah, we got a little bit of a thing. Her husband's. No, actually, I don't think they're engaged. I don't think they're married. They're engaged. This guy called Ime Udoka is the coach of NBA team, the Boston Celtics.
Yes.
Who has been suspended from his duty because he had a sexual relation with a colleague, another employee of the Boston Celtics. And by the way, I think it's a bit mad that he's been suspended for that.
Do you?
Yeah, a little bit mad. Because I mean, it's an affair. An affair is an affair.
Unprofessional conduct in the workplace.
Fuck, do me a favor.
I mean, my golden law has always been don't shit where you eat anyway. You should not be banging colleagues.
Do me a favor.
Straight up.
Whatever. I mean, you work with like bare dudes, so it's not like you have the choice.
So I'm living my raps.
Not through choice. He had to come out and say, I want to apologise to our players, fans, the entire
Can you do the accent, please?
organisation.
I
am doing the accent. And my family for letting them down. I'm sorry for putting the team in this difficult situation, and I accept the team's decision. Out of respect for everyone involved, I will have no further comment. Nia fucking Long isn't safe in 2022.
I was literally about to make the point it's not safe for any of you out there.
Like,
just cheat. Everyone just cheat.
Bahati, Nia Long, like you got friggin' Giselle Bundchen, one of the biggest supermodels ever, can't keep Tom Brady at home for more than a couple of months. He was so fed up of like wife and family life that he revoked his retirement after a couple of months, and now they're probably going to get a divorce.
Yeah.
Fucking Mazza.
Yeah, I hope he does.
To be fair, I'm with her on that one.
Tom Brady has been structurally underpaid his entire career.
What?
He's basically the reason that the Patriots won so much, not only because he was obviously fucking sick and Belichick's a bad guy, But Brady every year took less money than he could have earned so that they could pack the roster out with stars and they could just win a bunch of shit.
Violin playing a very sad song.
King Tom has been underpaid his entire life. It's time to get the bag. It's time to divorce Giselle, who's significantly richer than he is. Get your bag, King.
Why? Why does he need to divorce one of the most beautiful women
she's
in
gonna bounce,
the world?
right?
Mother of his kids, who just wants him to be safe, who just wants him to be at home.
Yeah, he's fine.
Why would he divorce that?
Because he gets to play ball in Tampa. That's a life.
But that's weird. Like, if Tom Brady tomorrow said, I want to start a podcast, which is like the NFL stories from my 25 years. Do you know how many people will be flinging like $500 million at him to do so?
Yeah, but he still
this whole concept of like, let him get the bag. He can do that in a whole bunch of ways that don't involve him still potentially getting stupid injuries to his body and his head.
Yeah, I don't know. He wants to throw the ball around.
That's bullshit. Throw the ball around to your kid, bro.
Plus, he doesn't really get beaten up. There's like the entire O-line.
And the thing that makes your point even worse, is that like, he said himself, he came out and was like, yo, my mental health is shot. And in another statement, he said, for the last 23 years, I've not had a Christmas. I've not had a Thanksgiving. I miss birthdays. I miss funerals. Like, he knows that this shit is a massive, massive hole in his life. And you got your wife saying, yo, I've been trying to get this guy to retire for years. Like, why should that even be a discussion? And the fact that she wants to divorce him tells me that they probably, before he moved to Tampa Bay, had a discussion about when he would pack it in. And you know what it's like, right? When you're in a relationship, the communication and the agreement that takes place there, you can't renege on, right? Like, you can barely renege on, like, I'm coming home for dinner tonight versus then saying, like, oh yeah, staying out with the boys tonight. You know what I mean? Them things there will get you in trouble, let alone saying, I'm going to retire and we're going to have a family life, right? So I'm with Giselle because he's clearly, like, backtracked on an agreement that he made.
Yeah, maybe. But at the same time, like, I don't know. The guy wants to throw a ball, and like there is a legacy to protect.
I mean, what do you mean? Like,
well, she can bounce, then just bounce in it. If she's
why are you like this? Why do you not want to see households stay together? Like, what the fuck?
I mean, I don't know. My old man was married 4 times, and
I get
my parents were together. I don't really give a shit. But like,
I get it, but like,
they're rich, man. Anyway, like I made the point to you before, right? It's not as if I highly doubt Giselle's been doing nappies and breakfasts and school runs for the last 25 years.
I resent that.
She's got there's stuff helping raise them children. Like, if the guy wants to throw a ball for another year, just live in the sunshine for a bit longer. Like, it's not the worst fucking life.
You already moved the family from the East Coast to the South Coast. Like, that would have been a big thing.
Yeah, they get to live in the sunshine.
So everybody's basically living in the shadows and on the whims of his impulses, basically.
Oh, it's his career, right?
Yeah, but she gave up her career for him to be the mother.
She wasn't doing any work after the kids came out now?
Significantly less. You went from seeing Giselle all the time to just not seeing Giselle as much. She went into like, I think her whole thing is like veganism and all things like green and health, right? Which is basically significantly.
I think there are probably
lower
other
key.
factors to do with the fashion industry's response to the passage of time as to why Giselle Bündchen was less.
So what you mean she's
relevant.
not getting booked because she's older?
Yeah.
Nah, bro. This is Giselle. We're not talking about like some Instagram model.
Right. Well, I mean,
she still looks young. She still is demanding top dollar if she shows up for a Victoria's Secret.
but she could do that. She could go and do that. Do you think Victoria's Secret producers won't send photographers down to Tampa?
It's not how it works, right? Like, she has to go to them, and the sacrifice that she
has to do, like, if she wants to do New York Fashion Week, she does. Sure, but they can still send shoots down to her.
She of course can do the one-offs. That's not.
She wants to do Vogue. That's light works. Giselle.
Get the feeling I'm talking to a brick wall on this.
You are talking to a brick wall. I mean, the guy. I mean, just let him split in it. The guy wants to throw a ball, and she doesn't want to wait and bounce. Like, this is, I don't know. It's
relationship advice
before
the relationship advice tonight from Johnny Vivas.
Yeah, our submission today comes from a former supermodel whose husband won't stop playing football.
I guess your stance on people getting upset about a black Little Mermaid is, fuck it.
I'm fucking fuming, to be honest.
Okay,
I'm fucking fuming.
Tell me more.
I mean, Walt Disney, a man famed for his equal opportunities and attitudes to race,
right?
Specifically designed this real life character to be a white woman with ginger hair. I was personally deeply pissed off when they cast a blonde James Bond, and I thought that was a disgusting detraction from the character. But
blonder, shorter,
but a black one as well, a black mermaid. horrendous. I feel like this is wokeism gone mad. Mermaids are clearly white. They're ginger as well. And Ariel, the clues in the name, you know, Aryan was a perfect being.
Yep.
And I don't feel like it's appropriate that the famously pro multiculturalism Disney company has sullied the character of a sea enchantress in such disgusting terms.
Yeah, I agree, man. What's next?
Black Bond.
Blocahontas.
Blocahontas. Oh, I like that. Yeah. Like
Just Pocahontas, but like...
yeah, Blokeback Mountain.
What would that be like?
Well, it's Blocahontas.
There's blokes in Brokeback Mountain.
Do you mean like Blackahontas?
I'm looking for... No, Blocahontas, because Pocahontas was a girl.
Yeah.
So I'm seeing how far this can go.
Right.
If Ariel can go from being white to being black, then maybe Pocahontas could be a dude in the next iteration. Maybe...
They should cast Jonah Hill as Malcolm X.
Yeah, see, you're there. You're there with me now.
I'm with you.
You're there with me.
I'm with you.
What else could we do? We could potentially have...
We could have Leonardo DiCaprio as Muhammad Ali.
No, I don't think that would work.
No?
No.
We should get the guy from Squid Games to do Nelson Mandela.
I think that would work.
I think that would work.
Idris Elba as King Charles in the biopic.
Yeah, I would support that. Yeah. I'd support that. Yeah. I would do the Indian dude who was the shitty Marvel superhero as Adolf Hitler.
I'll do you as Adolf Hitler.
Wow, okay. That's unique.
But that's... Could you imagine that?
Yeah.
Could you imagine a Jewish guy playing Adolf Hitler in a biopic?
Funnily enough, when I did used to do my acting, I kept...
Whoa. Huh?
I used to be an actor, innit? Man used to act.
What?
Man used to do stage shows and them things. Used to act.
What did you act as? As a fucking professional pain in the ass.
If you let me finish, I kept getting cast as fucking Nazis. It was bleak. I was in a play called The Ghetto.
Wait, you took the roles though?
Yeah, of course.
You've been selling your soul from early, bro. You've been selling your soul from fucking early, bro.
I am a purist in the pursuit of art.
Method actor?
I'm a method actor, yeah.
Bet.
I actually put my own head in an oven to prepare for the role. And I was the lead Nazi in a play about the Vilnius ghetto. And I got to shoot a gun on stage and smoke on stage when I was like 16 or something.
It was a fake gun.
It was a blank.
No, yeah, I mean, it was a fake.
No, it was a real. It was a real blank.
It was a prop gun from theater. Bro.
It had a blank.
I did theater as well. No, I did theater as well. It wasn't a real gun. Why are you trying? You're not.
I was there. I shot
Can you stop it? Can you stop it right there? It was not a real gun.
It was at public school.
They would not allow it.
It was at public school.
They would not allow it.
They had live guns for RAF. Anyway, whatever. Where's CCF? Can buy it. Anyway, yeah. So I kept getting cast, and also I was a Nazi in The Sound of Music at one point as well. Which is really weird. I just kept getting cast as a Nazi. Maybe that's why I didn't
Did they
get
know
into
your
acting.
background?
Yeah.
So that was banter then for
It was
them.
early doors, equal opportunity, innit?
No, I was just banter.
In fact, I am the first black mermaid. I understand Ariel's struggle.
Do you think we really live in a world where people are pissed off with this? Or
People are deeply pissed off about
this. Or do you
this.
think this is like the Universal Studios or whoever's making this film paying for outrage PR, which draws people to the film? Serious question.
I mean, it is an effective tool of marketing, right?
Exactly.
It's an effective tool on both sides because it gets white people talking about it and marketing it, and then it's like black people go and support it.
100%.
Mobilization of the black dollar.
Yeah. And white people want to watch it to hate it more.
Yeah.
So you get both sides.
Both sides. Yeah, I mean, it's good marketing. I just really hope that Chloe Bailey can swim. Otherwise, it will have been a waste of...
Haley Bailey. It's the other one.
I don't care.
It's the other one, mate.
Is it?
It's the other one.
I actually wasn't aware that there was...
They're sisters.
Two. But yeah, probably. But then, like, what else? Maybe she's just a good actress. I don't know, but she's a singer, right? Has she ever acted in anything before?
Singers. No, this is her first appearance in a movie.
Are they going to goon it like The Lion King and make it live action?
Mate.
Or is it just her and like Space Jam cartoons behind her?
Do you think I'm watching this shit?
You might, I don't know. You got people that might want to watch it.
I ain't, no. Nah.
No?
I mean, nah.
No?
I don't think so.
Yeah, might do.
I watched the new Lightyear the other day.
Oh, was that good?
Yeah. They took out the gay scene though that caused all the furore.
Oh, for the Chinese edit?
Yeah.
And they kept out the Western one as well.
They made it seem like Buzz was the gay one. Buzz ain't gay. It's like his colleague.
Might be gay.
He might be, but it wasn't him.
Wears very tight suits.
What else could we do as like alternative movies with like a very woke tilt on it?
I feel like it has to be a black actor in a white role because that pisses him off more than anything else.
No, we could do something like Michael Ward as Gandhi.
Yeah, shout. Well, they did Ben Kingsley, so we've actually already done that one.
Oh man,
we've done that one already.
We could do like, oh no, man.
You could do Bernie Mac as Henry VIII.
Rest in peace,
Rest
Bernie
in
Mac.
peace. That would piss people off. But also be fucking jokes.
No, they need to do that. They need to do that Henry VIII story like proper justice, bro.
I think they should remake Friday with Anton Deck.
That's awful. But I want to see them get high, to be fair.
Well, Ant's got problems, so he probably wouldn't be allowed.
Has he got problems?
Yeah, he's been in rehab there. Or they could like give him spice and just watch him bug out.
I don't know. Like, there's nothing more British than the success of Anton Deck, bro. I'm not gonna lie.
Ultimately talentless Geordies.
Like, it's incredible.
Just made it.
Like, I like them. Like, and I love Geordies, innit? I can never be mad at a Geordie, but like,
They're
there's nothing more British.
The ultimate industry plant.
They are balling out of control.
Yeah, it's pretty
and
bad.
I've never been impressed by them.
Yeah.
Or anything they've ever said.
Yeah. Oh, who's your one off Good Morning Britain? Alison Sutton, the big black lady. She's very funny and very nice.
What is it with you and your lack of remembering names of anybody who is
Who's
my
black?
Skin tone?
I don't know. Maybe it's because my main black reference is a deeply forgettable man himself.
Mm-hmm.
What's her name? Alison something. They could cast
Jackson?
her.
I don't know.
No, I can't remember anyway. They could cast her as Margaret Thatcher.
Wow.
Yeah. Or Viola Davis as Margaret Thatcher. That would piss him off.
Yeah.
Do you know
what
what I mean?
Davis is the queen.
That would be lit.
Yeah.
That would be lit.
Yeah.
Who else? They could do Big Nasty as Winston Churchill.
Yeah.
That would be jokes.
Yeah.
Can you imagine him doing the D-Day speech? That would be fucking bants, bro. We'll fight them on the beaches and...
Yeah. Anyway, I've not got much to say on this. I do think it is a bit of a combination of the outrage PR and the fact that we have weirdos who want to get the like button clicked on their Reddit posts.
Two twos. It's a fucking cartoon mermaid, bruv. You cannot be this upset over a cartoon mermaid.
It's
Shit.
a bit mad, bruv. It's a bit mad.
Please.
Like,
The only reason
I wonder how they're gonna act when Idris actually does get Bond. Like RT, shit's gonna kick off in a big way.
The only reason all these characters were white in the first place is because Walt Disney was a virile fucking racist. There's nothing to say that they are like white characters. It's just ridiculous chat. You don't need to grow up, bruv.
So before we get on to relationship advice, the 50th episode. Actually, it's not 50 episodes of relationship advice because you brought it in quite late.
Yeah. Well, I'd say about 30 odd.
Yeah. Okay. Well, the relationship advice to mark the 50th episode, we're going to talk about what's been going on in Iran, and it's mainly just essentially just a statement of solidarity to those in support of and the women affected by what's been going on in Iran. If you're not aware, there's been quite a bit of coverage on the news, but it's been mainly sort of like a social media driven protest outside of what's actually been happening on the streets in Iran. But a 22-year-old Iranian woman died after being arrested by morality police for allegedly not complying with the strict rules on head covering or hijab wearing. Masa Amini was beaten while inside a police van when she was picked up in Tehran on Tuesday. And while the police have denied the allegations, saying that she died of a heart problem, her family have obviously come out and said that the authorities are lying and that his daughter was in great health before she went into custody. Witnesses had seen her being beaten. She was with her brother at the time of the arrest, and he was also aggressively treated and beaten as well. And what you would have seen on IG and social media in general is a mass protest which has involved the burning of hijabs, the very brave, what you would have seen in Tehran would have been a lot of burning of hijabs as well as a lot of women walking the streets without wearing them, obviously putting themselves in more danger and risk of being arrested in the same way that Massa was. Not much to say on this. There are women's rights which are being completely trampled on all around the world. We could completely dedicate hours and hours and hours of our time of systematically breaking that down across cultures and countries all around the world. There's not much we, as two men in a East London flat on a podcast, can do to bring about change. But what we can do is show our support. So that's what we're going to do. And we're going to say, rest in peace to Massa Amini. Thoughts and prayers with her family. All we can pray is that, like, through the right type of governmental change and the recognition that people have a lot more power than we think we have, that we see some of these behaviors become extinct, die out, and ultimately change. But until then, unfortunately, it's going to be a bit of a rocky ride where we're going to see a few more of these stories before things get anywhere even remotely better. Rest in peace to Massa Amini.
Amen.
It's a mad one. Relationship advice has been sent in. It's a long one.
It is
a long one,
is
but
it?
boy oh boy, is it a funny one.
Okay.
Hey. Let me...
I was thinking we could do Patrick from EastEnders as King Arthur.
I mean, yeah, you could do that.
Could do that.
Yeah, why not?
That'd be quite jokes.
Shout out Patrick.
Yeah.
Let me clear my throat, please.
Could do Sol Campbell as any Premier League manager.
Yeah, that's funny. That's really funny. Right. I'll set the scene. February, March this year, my situationship was ending. It ended when I had asked for us to date more intentionally, with the end goal being commitment. And he had basically said he couldn't give me that right now.
Oh.
We didn't align, so naturally drifted. I was gutted, but we move. It's April and I'm out and a guy approaches me for my number. I wasn't too sure about him, but much to my surprise, this new guy was coming with all the energy. Reaching out regularly to chat and get to know me, planning every single date, coming correct and present both physically and mentally.
Okay.
He's understanding, thoughtful, funny, smart, all that good stuff. I soon didn't even see this as a rebound and happily committed time and energy back.
Okay.
I can safely say this was the first time I've had this kind of healthy dating energy from a man. He was making so much effort and I was enjoying all of it.
Go on, sis.
Early on in dating, naturally, we explored sexually and had loads of conversations about the kinds of things we liked and our own sexualities. I'm naturally sub and he's more dom, but we wanted to explore switching that up.
Okay.
We both also wanted to go to sex parties, which we now have, which is a fucking great time. And he really wants to explore sex with a very femme guy, which honestly, I don't feel a way about. Our rule is we both have to find the person attractive regardless of gender, and we both have to be involved.
What
He says he feels like he can be completely open with me, and he rarely feels this comfortable sharing his fantasies with anyone.
Okay.
As summer goes on, I'm seeing him at least once a week minimum, often more. We even planned a trip and flew out. When we were out, he seemed very focused on setting up a threesome and finding someone to join us. For me, these setups need to be organic, but I felt a lot of pressure from his side to interact with girls and put the feelers out there. So much so, we had an argument about it. Even during the day when we were talking or walking around, he's pointing out attractive girls frequently. It's been 6 months. I know I'm catching feelings for this guy. For me, when I like someone, they are the priority. Knowing them, understanding them, etc. And sex in this situation is a very lit bonus, but it's not my number one priority. After the trip, I was worried that maybe it was for him. I had a conversation with him and I told him I wanted to have clarity on whether he was interested romantically or if for him, he sees it as more casual and an enjoyable, safe space to explore sexuality. After a significant pause from him, his response was, I haven't really thought about it. And the convo went from there. He opened up and I learned he cheated a lot in his last relationship. And I also learned his struggles with emotions. He said he still had work to do on himself, even though he's done a lot, and that since his breakup, end of 2021, he hasn't given the idea of a relationship too much thought. Woo, this one is... I'm not done.
Okay.
The next day, I got a voice note saying he had thought about it and he definitely does like me and that we do align emotionally. He then said it once again when he came to mind that night. My fear is that where I am extremely open and I want to explore and experience things with my partner sexually, men can get gassed and obviously want to keep me around, but don't take me seriously in terms of commitment. Do I need to start keeping that sexualness to myself for longer. And with this guy, my gut is telling me that maybe he is just someone, yet again, not in a position to be serious. And if that's the case, then what the fuck has he been playing at since April? Do men really have the capability to give the entire boyfriend experience with no intention of following through? What do I do?
So I'm going to keep it real and answer that last question first. Yes, absolutely. Yes, absolutely. That does happen. So, like, let's not beat around the bush. Guys can do that. That is basically the magnus opum of any qualified fuckboy, is providing the boyfriend experience and then dipping on a buck. So it is what it is. It happens. It's not very nice.
Players fuck up.
It's not the way it should be done, but it does happen. So, like, if you're trying to consider whether or not this is a possibility, yeah, boom, it's a real possibility. So that might be on your table, or your chessboard may be laid thus. I don't know. It sounds like, I think the deeper issue that you've got, submitter.
You didn't guess the race. I know her, by the way. It's always good when the relationship advice comes in from people that you know. And not like these random accounts that don't want the full disclosure.
I am going to say, based on the willingness to basically say that he's bi super early doors, he's gringo.
Yeah.
Is she gringo as well?
I don't know if... This is from her.
Okay.
So I don't know what he is, but she is in fact...
She's gringoed off as well?
Yes.
Well, okay. I'm going to presume...
And a sensational body, if I may say.
Oh, very good.
Yeah.
Very good. Mashallah.
Yeah.
I think the deeper issue that you've got, white woman, is that your man isn't ready to commit, basically, right? So, like, everything else around that needs to be put into that context. Now, if you're concerned that he's only using you for sex and that you don't feel like he is ready for anything else, then he's probably not ready for anything else. So if you feel like your way to get more control over the terms of this relationship is to withhold sex until he is ready to commit, then I think that's probably reasonable. If you're of the mind that you want to keep him around until he is ready to commit, then that's probably a reasonable way of pulling that lever. Or come to the understanding that the guy can't give you what you want and that you're not willing to wait for him to be ready for a relationship because you don't want to waste the time and cut it off. But I think that actually the communication on this one has been decent to a point. He's communicated his desires, you've communicated yours, you've said where you are emotionally, nice. He said where he is. It just seems like this one isn't necessarily aligned right now. Now, you can choose to wait until it's aligned, but if you're seeing cracks that the alignment might not be there, then it is up to you to take agency. And if you decide to withdraw sex and he bounces, then you've got your answer anyway. It's fuckboy city.
I mean, how realistic is it really to withdraw sex with this fellow? You guys have gone to sex parties. You have entered into threesomes, or they entertain the idea of threesomes. You guys look at each other and you want a bone. How is withholding the sex going to work in practice? How's that going to work?
See now, this goes.
I don't think it's gonna work.
Goes back to one of the oldest adages, which I'm not necessarily a subscriber of, but it has held true often throughout history, in that everything in life is about sex,
except sex,
which
is about
power.
Boom.
And what Submitter here seems to be trying to do is to regain power, her own power. The power balance in the relationship. There are questions of agency. There are questions of even beyond the whole like dom and sub stuff. There are issues of a retaking of status within the relationship hierarchy. So in this context, when you say is it manageable to withhold sex, it is within the context of regaining her power. And you can define her power as however you like.
Of course she can stop having sex, but like, it's fun, isn't it? Like, why would she?
Well, she would because she doesn't feel like the guy's taking her seriously outside the confines of the sexual relationship. And the only way for her to find out if the guy's a keeper is to stop fucking him. And if he sticks around and he wants to commit and you're fucking him less or not fucking him, then you know you've got a keeper. And if he decides to bounce because you're not fucking him, then you know what's up.
Do you think there would have been a lot more value in having these deeper conversations about who he was, his past, his relationships in the past at the start, so that the sex wasn't as full on and as exploratory.
As freaky early doors.
Yeah.
Yeah, obviously.
Because you then have a situation now where you've gone from that one extreme to potentially just pulling back completely, which in itself can present problems, right?
Sure.
Because the guy might just be like, yo, what the fuck? I know that I'm not ready now, but
Yeah.
what
But it's not necessarily, it's not his prerogative
to
make her wait until he is ready, right?
No, of course
Entirely
not. But it is a natural feeling for him to just be like, yo, I thought we've been open. To the point you made before, I thought we've been open. I thought we've been honest. Why are we going the opposite way?
So to answer the direct question, yeah, obviously it would have been better to have this conversation early. But it seems like they're having a lot of conversations. And so like there was an air of openness and the guy just wasn't ready to talk about it. So like within the context of a relatively open, by the sounds of it, situationship.
It's not the kind of chat you hear on first dates on C4.
It's
so tell me about your cheating history.
It's not Casa and More chat.
Yeah.
So yeah, obviously it would have been ideal, but this is the way the cookies crumbled, right? And again, my favorite expression in life.
You've got about 10 of them. You can't keep saying
no. You know this. My unified singular favorite is you can only play the chessboard in front of you,
and say that a lot.
Your chessboard has been laid thus. So. Yeah, I think, to be honest, I think you are within your rights. I think you're like, okay, you've gone a fair way down the fucking track, right? Doing sex parties and threesomes and whatever. But like, clearly you have been made to feel uncomfortable by his like borderline obsession with finding a threesome partner. And that's reasonable. Like open relationships are all about consent. And one might argue that open relationships require an even deeper understanding and deeper level of consent because there are externalities to the core pair. And if you feel uncomfortable with the way that he is trying to introduce additional partners, then you're entirely within your right to form doubts about your core pairing. And like, regardless of how any relationship goes forward from here, that needs to be rock solid before there are threesomes or whatever's or other sex parties.
Yeah,
you need to be solid with this guy. And if you're not solid with him, you're within your rights to withdraw yourself until you are.
It's one of those as well where you kind of just have to know yourself and know your heart and know your tolerance levels, right? Because you know what they say, the difference between men and women is that we can separate cock from heart and mind, right? And, you know, they always say that, like, women are becoming more like men in that respect these days, etc. But the reality is that, like, we still have a situation in which you can't compartmentalize that.
Yeah.
Well, a lot of women can't. I mean, a lot of men can't either. So it is, to an extent, a little bit about knowing what you are able to deal with emotionally, right? Because to your point, if the only way you think you can stop yourself from being emotionally invested is by withdrawing the sex, then I would say that maybe you just cut this off right now at this stage and just say, look, when you are ready, if I am free, what we have is dope and I really like you. But while you can't give me everything I want now, there is no real point me getting deeper in with you.
So this was about to be my final line. What I was going to say is you're basically at the point of where you drop it, that if it's no committee, it's no kostiki, right? So this is the bridge that you're at. It's time to cross the Rubicon.
Yeah, I guess.
Unfortunately.
Yeah, look, I just think you obviously have to protect your heart. You have to protect your energy. And this guy doesn't seem at all problematic at all, really. Like, he's open, he's honest, and clearly has a lot of urges that he has still living in him that he needs to get out.
But he's just got a lot of shit going on. It doesn't line up with you.
The worry is that will that ever come to an end for somebody like him? Because she said in her submission that he cheated a lot back in the day.
Oh, so, that was also a point that we haven't addressed.
So maybe that bit needs to actually be explored a little bit more by our submitter, because
that's open and shut.
What does that mean?
That's open and shut.
What do you mean?
I mean, once cheater, always a cheater.
I don't know,
come on.
I don't know. I'm not gonna. Man, you're king of the wide brush statements. I'm not like that. You know, I miss the nuance. Am I main?
Nuance is overrated. It is bullshit. Like, it is what it is. Some people are cheaters, some people aren't. Some people can't bring themselves to do it. Some people find it easy, right? It happens.
But the reasons why he cheated might have been because he didn't have a woman who was as exploratory as, say, the person who submitted this
thing. Why
didn't
he leave her?
Huh?
Why didn't he leave her?
Bro, we've been through this 100 times. You know, breakups are terrible and they're hard to do. Come on.
It's true, but
sometimes, like, people find fucking cheating easier than breakups, which is mad, but it's the truth.
Listen, as I've said in the record, I'm all for relationships being vehicles of gaining property and gaining advantage and favor in life. But I don't believe that people change their stripes when it comes to this one.
Oh, I don't know, man. I know loads of cases where people have just fucked around and then just found the one. They're like, nah, I'm out of the game, innit?
Fucking around is different to cheating.
Hung up their jerseys. No, when I say fucking around, I mean cheating.
Okay.
You know? Been in relationships when they were young and they were like, this isn't going to be the person I'm with, so whatever. Just been a bit crazy when they've gone on lads' holidays. Then found the one and become like that guy where it's like, she can have my Instagram account, she can have my password, she's meeting all my friends, I don't even go out with the homies. Like, you can make that turn, for sure. I've seen it, for sure.
Well, not whilst this guy's in this emotional place.
And that's the problem, right? This person we're talking about isn't that guy, right? He's clearly in a space where, I don't know if it's age, I don't know if it's experience, I don't know if it's background, I don't know what the fuck it is, but clearly he has a lot to get out of his system. And I think, look, man, I think there's a lot of credit that needs to be given to him for just like acknowledging that. Do you know what I mean? Like acknowledging that. He doesn't want to come into a situation with you where it's just about potentially exploring other women. He wants to do all of these crazy things with you, which is great. It's a compliment. But he's got that freaky deaky in him still, innit? So until that subsides a little bit,
gotta let him orgy this one out.
Yeah,
away from
exactly,
you.
literally. And that's tied in with just knowing what your heart can take at worst. You have to have a view on how badly this could get, how badly this could spiral. And if you're doing a worst case scenario analysis, if you want to call it that, ask yourself if you could take what the possible worst outcome is from him. And if the answer to that is no, then I would suggest that kill it early. Kill it early. Take the L, as I said, take the L. You know, sometimes we just have to take an L.
No,
it hurts and it's fucking shit. But then we realize, actually, I left that situation with my self-respect, with my heart intact, with everything.
You can go on the other side.
And you can do your thing, innit? And trust me, this girl's going to have no problems with the bounce back. No problems.
No committee, no co-sticky. That's what's up.
I don't like that, to be honest.
I think that might be the
Where'd
episode.
you get that from? Is that from like a toilet attendant at a club?
Off the dome. I think that might be the episode title.
What?
No committee, no co-sticky.
No.
Yeah.
Absolutely not.
Yeah.
It's horrible.
Yeah.
No commit. How do you even spell co-sticky? And what is co-sticky?
A stickiness of
no committee, no co-sticky. That's terrible. Horrible.
It's the episode title.
Keep your submissions coming in. I mean, yeah.
I think we did all right on that one.
I think we did too. We did.
We didn't encourage any property theft.
No.
We didn't encourage any public slander.
No.
It was quite a mature one.
You ever been to a sex party?
No.
Do you want to?
But I know people who have been.
Oh, I know a few.
Yeah, same. It's kind of mad how prevalent it is. I'm not going to lie.
Yeah. They're supposed to be very fucking lit.
Yeah. I don't know if I could do it, though. It's a bit weird.
I think I could do it in like...
people with cockies out in that.
Yeah, so when this person submitted, I was like,
yo... unhygienic.
I didn't have you down as like the eyes wide shut party type person. I think only in that setting could I do it, like where it's like masks and shit.
Okay.
I don't know if I could just like look at hella people
in
the
the
face.
Cocky out.
Yeah.
What would you do if you see somebody, you buck someone that you know and you're like...
That you're about to bang, or just somebody who you know and be like, oh, fancy seeing you here?
Yeah.
It depends who it is. Because if it's like,
mad,
let's just imagine it's like your boss from work. Shit, that's irreversible.
See, that actually I would find easier to manage. Because if it's your boss from work, you're immediately like, we're obviously both keeping our fucking mouth shut. We're not boys. Yeah, we're not going to like see each other out in public or
So who would be a nightmare to see in a sex party?
Someone that like you know from a bat, innit? Like not your Cody. You and your Cody, you'd be like, this is bleak, but like, come shut the fuck up. And then the two of you be like, cool, bless, say nothing. But if it's just like someone who's about, who like comfortably goes to these sex parties and like chats about that they're going, they're like, but you never guess who I saw. If you never guess who I saw, like who? Like, but you know Rich goes to these sex parties, fam. That just cover blow and whole thing's done. No, I'm not about it.
No, I mean, I envy people who are that sort of like sexually liberated in that sense.
Yeah,
I consider myself to be like, I'm no prude or anything like that, but like, that's another level of sexual liberalization.
I'm not down for sticky flooring either.
What does that mean?
As in like sticky floors. Like I just don't want to be walking on sticky floors. There's like a lot of fluids about everywhere at sex parties, I imagine.
I'm sure people wipe, bro.
I mean, I would hope so, but I'm not really willing to find out.
I mean, how much I don't think people are just like raw dogging in the sex parties. I'm pretty sure it's like a safe environment.
Yeah, I don't know. It's generally quite a sticky endeavor.
You're giving me a bit of insight there into your
into your bedroom antics?
I've actually
Do you
got.
not keep a Kleenex on deck
I've got
or
an
anything?
all plastic covered room.
I mean, that sounds like you, to be fair.
I'm not Patrick Bateman.
It sounds like you. I mean, you're not far off.
What?
You're not far off.
What?
If I was going to say any of my
No
friends could
way.
turn into Patrick Bateman, it'd be you,
How,
bro. It'd
bruv?
be you,
How?
bro. What are you talking about, bro?
Unpack it. Explain. Then.
Fucking incredibly white, incredibly
Wow.
neurotic.
Wow. Well, I'll give you that.
Has a look in his fucking eyes where he could be a killer.
What? This
Very,
is slander.
very like weirdly intelligent. You guys heard Johnny on the fucking budget like half an hour ago. Like he was just not stopping. Like if I
You
cut
didn't
him,
stop me.
I was giving him the sign like, yo, we got to wrap it up, and he just drew for the knife and just gave me a look. The
I
fuck?
put the record player on.
Exactly. Started playing Phil Collins, Studio or some shit. Fucking hell, man. 50 episodes.
50 episodes deep.
50.
That's the half century. Raise the bat.
Yeah, man. It's potentially a very, very significant episode as well, for reasons we will get into later.
Yes.
But until then, thank you for 50. What can I say, man?
Thank you very much.
We have the best supporters in
Many
the world.
men.
And wish death upon me. Thank you. That's all I can say.
Thank you very much.
From the bottom of my heart.
Muchas gracias.
I could call out some names,
Merci.
but you know who you are, because every single time you slide into the
Dankeschön.
DMs, we reply to every
Shia.
single one of you.
Spasibo.
We love you all.
Kamsahamnida.
Until next time.
Arigato.
Peace.